Part 4 of New Comics, bitches! Really trying to go through this quick, but it's really hard to because there's a lot of stuff that came out this week. So you got to give me a break here, guys and gals, whoever's watching this out there. Although it says it's predominantly male, the people that are watching me. So either you're finding me really attractive or something. Anyway, trying to get through it. Okay, Batman Beyond continuing series number 6. We've got Blight back, and a really cool moment here at the beginning. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but you see this Batman escaping on this cycle here, which, if you can see it, really seems to resemble something that we've seen in a really huge film within the past couple of years. So that's it's a really cool nod, seeing that, okay, here's the Bat Pod in an episode of, in an issue of Batman Beyond, so that's just cool. Actually, at one point, Bruce Wayne's like, I forgot I actually had that. But you're getting some more story into Blight and how he's been able to survive all this time, and some information about the kind of deal that Dana back in issue 4, the kind of Dana-centric issue, or not Dana, but God damn it, Max, the Max-centric issue, issue 4. Was that issue 3? I don't know. I can't remember. But it was a cool issue, nonetheless. And then Terry finds out that Dana, his ex-girlfriend, has a brother, and the brother doesn't. He seems to be maybe up to no good because he just did get out of jail. Terry's just trying to do some investigation, trying to find out what the hell is going on with with Wayne Enterprises and why it seems to be going through all this really bad stuff lately. Blight's there with Sneak Attack. He's ready to put Batman in his grave. Again, I just keep really enjoying the extension of the Batman universe with Batman Beyond. It was a cartoon I really liked. This is a comic I really like. This particular issue, it's a little all over the place, but it's cool to get more of the backstory into Derek Powers, aka Blight. And again, it's just a really good continuation of the comic series, so I'm all for that. So, damn, the air conditioning keeps kicking on, even though it's like 70 odd degrees out. I have to turn it up. So on to some Marvel stuff here. We've got Moon Knight number 2. As you know, when the first issue of this came out, this was pick of the week. Not quite so much here. I actually have 3, almost a tie for 3 picks of the week. 3 books that are absolutely must-reads. This is a must-read too, but it's just not the same kind of caliber. Bendis and Malieve doing their thing, doing more of their thing with Moon Knight. Actually, this could kind of be a pick of the week too. If this had been a lesser week, this would definitely be a pick of the week, because this is a really awesome issue, because you really see, okay, Moon Knight is really going around the fucking bend here. Because he believes that, he's kind of almost drawing on the ability, the personas and even kind of the abilities of Spider-Man and Wolverine. Not really so much Captain America, even though these are the 3 personalities that seem to be coming out of him. And he's in combat with these. There seems to be kind of a a stripper, a union of strippers that seems to be wanting to get into the underworld here. Which is just a cool idea here, and he's and Moon Knight's really trying to, like I said, he's really trying to pull the he's really trying to pull out all the stops on the Spidey antics, and also on the humor that Spidey has. He's letting that part of his self take over, but he's also he's getting his ass handed to him at certain points, and then he has these gauntlets that actually shoot webbing while he's being the Spider-Man self, but also if he needs to turn on the Wolverine self, which he does seem like he has to do at one point, the gauntlets become snicked claws. Even though it doesn't have actually the snicked, you can see this right here, where the gauntlet is here, right there. Right there, damn it, right there. Yeah. As opposed to snicked. And then he gets tased. But he finds himself woken up in the safety of Maya Lopez. And you can call her Echo if you're nasty. No. But yes, the character of Echo, who's someone that Bendis created a while ago with David Mack. Who's always been a really cool character. She's deaf, but she is, she's kind of like Taskmaster, and she has that, basically whatever she sees, she can imitate whatever kind of. There was a name for it that in the Taskmaster series that Fred Van Lente did that I loved. He kind of gave it this, it's like photomimetic, whatever. But there seems to be a bad guy that that's kind of pushing these this kind of these stripper bad guys to kind of putting them to the test here. So now again, this Moon Knight obviously unfortunately it has nothing to do with the cover. That was one of the big problems that I did have with it, is that, the last issue saw that, okay, well, he had, he was basically getting a dismantled Ultron. But, I think Bendis is concentrating more on, kind of his, it's not so much descent into madness, because, let's face it, Moon Knight is already pretty much Looney Tunes at this point in time. So, but again, really, really good book. Definitely pick it up. If you missed issue 1, you missed one fucking hell of an issue, and issue 2 is pretty damn good as well. Not as good, but all the same, pretty damn good. Okay, so on to my first of 3 books of the week here. Which we probably won't get all through in this segment, so you'll have to forgive me in advance. And that is Fear Itself number 3, or book 3, whatever you want to call it. And the hammer that fell on Yancey Street. Again, all fucking hell is breaking loose. This is during the Blitzkrieg USA moments. Now, okay, here is my only quibble with this issue, is that it has the Bucky Captain America in it. So, again, I don't know. Sometimes in comics they do something cool, which is a nice little reminder either at the beginning of the issue or somewhere during the issue. They'll have this little, note that says, events in this issue take place before blah, blah, blah. So for, Ed Brubaker, if you're listening, you might want to put a little note in your next issue of Captain America saying, events in this issue take place before the events in Fear Itself number 3. Because obviously in continuity, back to continuity again, Bucky is still in the Gulag in Russia. So I don't understand how he could be here during the Blitzkrieg. But the Serpent is out. He's got, 5, Juggernaut, Absorbing Man, Titania, the Hulk, Atuma, and, and Sin, as kind of his acolytes, people that are wielding, beings that are wielding this, these different hammers that, change them into these other beings, these, breakers, breaker of worlds, breaker of oceans, breaker of men, breaker of wills, breaker of stone. And in this one, we get a new one, and that is because the Thing grabs the hammer that has fallen on Yancey Street, and he becomes the Breaker of Souls. Because somebody's given him shit right before he grabs the hammer. Somebody's given him shit about, saying, well, you failed to save, the Human Torch. And he's just, obviously this is making him really pissed off. And it's just, badness happens instantly after he picks up this hammer. Thor is, Loki, who's now, I don't know if this is a reincarnation of Loki, again, because I'm not following Thor, but Loki also either is a young boy or a female. I can't tell. Maybe it's female. But she seems, Loki seems, they're basically trying to break Thor out of his cell in Asgard, so that he can do what he needs to do, what he wants to do on Earth. Odin, of course, catches him and says, you know what? Screw you. Go back to Earth. Die with them. Because they're making Asgard space, as it's called in this issue, they're making it into a war machine. It's going to be something that will the kind of intention is to destroy the Earth. If the Serpent gets too out of control. And Thor desperately wants to go back and stand with his allies on Earth. So Odin says, you know what? Go ahead. Here's your hammer. Go die. See you later. Don't say I never did nothing for you. And he actually kind of says something to that effect in this issue. But of course, you've got, the Hulk in Brazil going all crazy, and there's the Red She-Hulk, Betty Ross. She's trying to keep him at bay. And here comes Steve Rogers. He desperately wants to get back on the field here. He wants to get back on the playing field because he's as you said, he's not a he's not brass. He's a soldier, and he needs to be where the action is. And so it basically says, you know what, to Maria Hill, says, okay, Hill, you take over. I'm going down there. I'm going down to the Capitol because there are people I need to save. So again, Steve Rogers being Steve Rogers, and Steve Rogers is always awesome. And then in the last couple of pages here, you will see the reason that I picked this as the book of the week, because it's an extremely emotional moment. I'm hoping it's not true what happens at the end here, because quite frankly, I'll be really pissed off if it's true. It's not something that would stop me from reading more, or it's not something that will make me hate Matt Fraction. But this has been the first issue of Fear Itself where I feel like, okay, this has really stepped up its game a lot. There is some serious shit going down here. There are repercussions. People are maybe dying. People are really dying, but I mean, someone big in this universe possibly has died. So, great book. Stick around. We'll get to the other 2 books a week in just a second.